Let's math talk.
Addition, subtraction, fraction.
Let's math talk.
Division, multiplication.
Let's math talk.
Decimals, talking about money.
Let's math talk.
Addition, subtraction, fraction.
Let's math talk.
Division, multiplication.
Let's math talk.
Decimals, talking about money. Using keywords for this math talk. Problems not hard with this math talk. Learning is fun with this math talk. We about to get lit with this math talk.
Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to work with decimals. I know decimals is something quite difficult, but if you understand place value and know how to apply it, it'll become so easy to you on moving your decimals either to the right or to the left. Now let's get started. So on this column we have our decimals. So in our next column we have 10 times, which actually means 10 times greater. Now, the reason why we're looking at 10 times greater and understanding how it applies to place value, every time we move up a level as far as place value, it moves in increments of 10. So if we're going from the ones to the tens or the tens to the hundreds to the thousands, it's moving up by 10 times greater. Now, in that case, if we're making a number larger, we know that we are moving our decimal to the right. So every time we move it to the right, we just say to the right, to the right, to the right. Now, looking at 1/10, if we have 1/10 of something, looking at a fraction, it makes things smaller. So that means that if we're moving a decimal, we have to make that number in turn smaller. So this is, for example, if we're moving from one place value to another, moving from tens to the ones place, that is 1/10 smaller. So this is why we are moving our decimal here to the left. So when we do that, you got it, we would say to the left, to the left. Now let's try to apply it. Now, if we have 0 and 0.06, that is not how you say the number. You would say 6 hundredths because our 6 is in the hundredths place. Now, if we're trying to figure out what is 10 times greater than 6 hundredths, if we're in this column and we just have a 10, we're moving our decimal to the right, to the right. So in that case, I'm going to take my friend over here and I'm going to move my decimal here to the right. And being that it's only tenths, that is only one place value, so we're making one jump here to the right. So when I recreate my number, my decimal now is going to be in the tenths place. So 10 times greater than 6 hundredths will be 6 tenths. Now let's try another example. If we are looking at 1/10 of 6 hundredths, we are moving our decimal to the left, to the left. So if I go ahead and write my my decimal again, I know that 6 hundredths, I'm going to move my decimal to the left, and I rewrite my number, it's going to be 6 thousandths. So 1/10 of 6 hundredths is actually 6 thousandths. Okay, let's try another one. So we're going to look at 9/10. If we are looking for what is 10 times greater than 9/10, we know that we are making something bigger. So that means we must move our decimal to the right, to the right. So now I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my decimal. And now I need to move it only one place value to the right because it only says 10 times greater. So I go ahead and move my friend to the right here. So now my new my decimal is going to be a whole number, which is 9. Now let's try 1/10 of 9/10. So let's see here. So if we have, and we rewrite it here, when we're making something 1/10, we're making it smaller. Fractions are part of a whole number, which means they're making something smaller. It's a small piece. So if we're going from 1/10 of a number or 1/10 of a place value, that means we're going backwards. We're making a number smaller. So in this case, we are moving our decimal to the left, to the left. So now I'm going to do my jump, and I'm going to move my decimal here, and I'm going to rewrite my number. So now I have 900. So we know that 9/10 turns into. Now I want you to try your best to see what is 10 times greater than 3/10. Go ahead.
Let's math talk.
Addition, subtraction, fraction,
Let's math talk.
division.
All right. Now let's check and see if you're correct. So if we want to figure out what is 3/10 and what is 10 times greater than 3/10, I would say I can rewrite my decimal. And we know if it's in this column and we're trying to figure out what is 10 times greater, we're moving our decimal to the right. So we would go ahead and move it one place value because it's only said 10 times greater. And now my decimal is going to turn into a whole number, which will be 3. Now, let's try another one. I want you to try to practice with figuring out what is 1/10 of 3/10. Go ahead.
Let's math talk.
Addition, subtraction, fraction,
Let's math talk.
division.
I know that you did amazing. Let's check and see what answer did you come up with and if it was correct. So if we rewrite it and we go ahead and note that if we're in this column and we're trying to figure out what is 1/10 of 3/10, we are going to move our decimal to the left. So I move it one place value here because it's only tenths, and I'm going to rewrite my decimal. And I know 1/10 of 3/10 is actually going to be 300ths.